Good morning everyone, myself Farid from class 9A. Today I am here to talk about a book review which I have read recently, and the book's name is Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by the famous writer Robert Kiyosaki, who is a Japanese American writer. So the reason why I'm talking about a book review of this particular book, like there are millions of books, so why I'm only choosing this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad? If you're looking, like there are several other books, so why I'm choosing this book on my book review project? The reason is that Rich Dad Poor Dad helps us to know about the reality of our world. See, if you are looking at the present day generation, if you are telling to someone that how easy it is to be rich, then that person 99% would say that it is a humongous task to be rich. It is extremely difficult. It is very difficult. Like it is the most toughest challenge ever for a human being. But in his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he went on to explain that being rich or being successful in your life is actually the most easiest thing you will like ever have. That is, he only tells these three things. The most important is building up your assets. Now, this is a book review, and I'm not going further into the book, but the reason why I like this book so much is that it helps us to be financially literate. And in our dynamic world, where each and every milliseconds big changes are happening or are taking place, therefore it is almost a must read book, because it educates the youth of not only a particular country, the youth of the entire world, that it is important to be financially literate in this generation or in this century. If you want to go ahead, if you want to be bold, if you want to have a successful life forward, then financially literate people can only achieve this goal. And Robert Kiyosaki has mentioned this, or has stated this very clearly in his book, that is The Rich Dad Poor Dad. At the beginning of the book, he went on to explain two different types of dad. Like you can see that in the book title itself, Rich Dad Poor Dad. One is a rich dad and one is a poor dad. And he talks about the mentality between a rich person as well as a poor person, and the reason why like a majority of the population fails to be successful or fails to be rich in their life is actually because of their mentality. And also, when we ask someone that are they like fond to take risk, like taking risk in your life, then majority of the people, I can bet or I can guarantee, will say that I want to play safe, or like I do not want any risk in my life. But here Robert Kiyosaki says that not taking risk is actually the biggest risk in our life, because taking risk will, most situations, yes, sometimes it may give us losses, but he went on to explain that taking risk will give up confidence, will build up that confidence, that booster in your body, which would be essential when time goes on. And last but not least, the book takes a very unique approach. And the biggest thing that I see positive thing about this book is that it is written in simple English language. So it has not any complex words, which enables the reader to easily understand what the writer, that is Robert Kiyosaki, is trying to project here. And also it is written in bold words. Important lines, sentences are all written in bold words, and it easily manages to get into the reader's mind, and you will be gluing in your seats and would be reading the entire book. The entire book has like 200-300 pages, and even though it might seem as a long book, but actually when you're reading, the interest goes up and it will turn into a short novel stuff. So the book was first published in the year 1998, so the book completes 25 years of publishment. And also USA Today, which is one of the most famous esteemed newspapers, have regarded this book, that is The Rich Dad Poor Dad, as the #1 most famous as well as the most popular financially literate book in the world. So I would like to conclude this book review by saying that it is the must read book. If you want to be successful in your life, and if you want to be rich in your life, and if you want to go ahead in your life, then you need to be like financially literate. And in order to be financially literate, I would suggest people to read this book. And before ending this review, I would also like to quote one of his ideas as well. In our present day generation, he clearly says that it is not the smart people who would go ahead, but it is the bold people. And this line itself clearly states that it is those people who are willing to take risk in their life will be able to go ahead in 90-95% situations. So with this, I would like to conclude my book review speech. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you.